Hello, I'm Pastor Dave, and this is your Monday morning sermon recap for Monday, April 5th, 2021. Here we go. This week we looked at the last of the seven churches in Asia Minor, as found in the book of Revelation. We looked at the church at Laodicea. And when we look at Christ's message for this church, we see that it is actually the harshest message because they're neither dead nor alive. They're lukewarm. And looking at this church and Christ's message for this church, we can see that there are times we need to give more than an emotional response to Christ. This is something we need reminded of from time to time, because ultimately when we come to faith, we tend to have positive emotions, good feelings about it. But we can't stay at that one point. We have to keep moving. We have to progress. We can't stay at that moment of joy of accepting Christ. We need to grow. We need to move. As Christ himself noted, just coming to the faith is not enough if you have no intention of growing in the faith. This was a problem for Laodicea, and it is a problem for us if we want to be honest. We don't often want to grow. We want to stay right where we're at. And sometimes we're blinded by things in this world to the very needs we have. For Laodicea, and possibly for us, it was the very wealth and comfort we have. Laodicea was an important financial and commercial center on an important trade route. They were wealthy in that city. There's a good chance the church itself was wealthy. And that wealth kind of clouded their judgment and blinded them to what was going on. Because of their physical wealth, the church was blind to their spiritual poverty. They needed to grow and they just couldn't pick up on it. And really, that's what Christ was calling upon them to do. They needed to warm up. And it's not that they were cold, they were lukewarm. They needed to get hot. And that was best seen by Christ's actions. Christ noted that he was knocking on the door for them. He was reaching out to the Laodiceans in the same way that Christ reaches out for us today. When Christ does that, Christ is knocking at the door, calling on the church to act, to do what we are supposed to do. If we're cold, we need to warm up. If we're lukewarm, we need to get hot, boiling for Christ. This is not a time to be tepid, but to be hot, to grow, and to be the disciples Christ wants us to be. Because Christ is calling on all who call themselves disciples to cross the line and embrace the fullness of their faith. Hey, pretty much hit exactly 1 minute, or 3 minutes. So this is your recap for the week. Remember that we worship at 8:45 at East Salem and 10:15 at Otterbein. We live stream that East Salem service on the East Salem UMC Facebook page. But until next time, I'm Pastor Dave, and I hope to see you in the pews.